Hey, good night. Good night. All right, y'all. I hope everybody's doing really well. I'm on both my phone and my laptop, trying to make sure that I cover all my channels at one time. One and done, right? So tonight, I definitely didn't want to go off to sleep without talking about kind of where I'm sitting in this mid-year reset. So we started last night talking about the mid-year reset and just recognizing that we are already in June and we're halfway through the year. And of course, at the beginning of the year, you would have set these intentions, and now it's like you're hitting June, and maybe the things that you thought you were going to be able to achieve or accomplish, some of them have gone sideways. Some things maybe you're uncertain about, and you're in that, probably on, that indecisive in some things, or maybe things are going great and you just want to check in to make sure that you're on the right path. Well, tonight I wanted to touch on something that I feel pulls us in multiple directions. Sometimes you'll hear coaches talk about, focus on your goals. Like if you don't set goals, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And if they're without a vision, the man will perish. And you hear all these conversations about focusing on the goals, making sure you have your goals set, setting your intentions. I talk about setting the intention and just being really clear about what those goals are, and not worrying so much about how you're going to get there. Don't try to figure out the how, but just focus on the destination. Then on the other hand, you'll hear other coaches talk about, well, the juice is in the journey. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to the process. Don't focus too much on the outcomes. Enjoy the journey, learn the lessons as you go along. And sometimes it can be a bit confusing. And of course, if you are in the middle of the year and you're going after this mid-year reset, and you have these two contrasting things pulling at you, you're like, okay, well, what do I do? I feel like I have less time to really achieve the things that I want. And at the same in the same instance, I'm kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to go about doing this. I'm looking at all the steps I've taken, and it doesn't feel like I'm making much progress, right? And so, what I'm here to tell you is that after all the different things that I've been studying and reading and looking at, you have to do both. You got to focus on the journey and you got to focus on the destination. It's just how you go about it. And what I will say, I'll give you guys a little tip, which is primary reason why I came on here tonight, is because there is one primary strategy that works for focusing on both areas. In other words, if you focus on your goals to death and you don't do this one thing, it's going to make it really difficult for you to get to that goal. On the flip side, if you focus on the journey and don't do this one thing, it's going to make the journey really, really painful. Like you're going to just have a whole heap of suffering going through the process of getting to that, whatever that outcome or destination or dream or goal it is that you have set up, right? And the truth is that for many of us, myself included, what happens when you get an idea or you come up with a new dream is you're full of excitement. That is when everything is exciting. That is when you're full of fire, and it just feels like, oh my gosh, you could create the whole world. You could go run a country. You could go start a new car company. You could start in the next Tesla. Like you feel that kind of energy, and you want to share your idea and you want to do all the things. And then when you start the process of moving towards that goal and life starts to occur, that's when now you start to feel like, oh man, do I know what I'm doing? You start all the imposter syndrome. You start see everybody else's successful car company or everybody else's successful relationship, and then if you're a woman, you're in your head 3 times more than the men, right? So you have all of these different things that are pulling at you once you get past that initial romance of having this new dream or new idea or a new thing that you want. So here's the one thing that you have to make sure that you are doing, whether you are focusing on the destination, the goal, the dream, or you're focusing on the journey. You have to make sure that whatever it is you are doing, you can feel the feeling that is going to keep you energetically aligned with that initial way that you felt when you had the idea, when you had the dream, when you saw the person that you're like, yes, that's my person, I'm going after them. Whatever that initial feeling is, if you can tap into that, let me tell you, I get so excited about it, guys, because this has been a game changer for me. The feeling is the secret. And you know what happened? Sometimes when you are going after something, like if you're on a wealth journey, I actually got invited to speak at a wealth building conference that's coming up in August. And the reason why they invited me to speak at the wealth building conference is not because I focus on coaching people about wealth. It's because I focus on mindset and that mental acceleration, right? Regardless of what you're trying to create. And they wanted me to come and have a conversation with persons about how you can create wealth without the stress of it. Because you know that if nothing else don't stress out people, it is money. That moolah situation will stress you out, right? And so when I think about just my own growth and my own wealth journey, one of the main things that has made the difference between all the coaches I've gotten, all the classes I took, I literally got certified as a wealth manifestation coach just because I wanted to manage my own poverty consciousness and remove that poverty consciousness history that I had. I literally went and got my own certification even though I don't use it like that, just so I could sort out my head, right? And the primary thing, guys, that I'm telling you is that if you can put your mind in a state that actually feels like you already have achieved the prosperity that you're going after, then it will enhance the experience of getting to the prosperity, even when you are on your last dime. Forget that. Even when you pass your last dime and you're in the red, right? It is the thing that will not only propel you forward when you are feeling low and defeated, it is also the thing that will make that destination seem that much more achievable, attainable. And the way that you do it is not by thinking impossible thoughts of feel good. So, for instance, if you are broke, it's very difficult to feel good about being broke, but you can feel good about something else, right? Remember that your broken state, your I don't have money in my pocket right now, is just a state right now. It is not who you are, right? You have other things in your life. Once you have breath, first and foremost, you can be grateful for that. And once you're in a space of gratitude, then that automatically elevates your energy to a level that will allow you to now start seeing and thinking about what else can I be grateful for? Sometimes for me, it's as simple as waking up and hearing birds. Like I get that simple, guys. I don't try to find these ginormous things. I don't need to have awards. I don't need to have raises and bonuses. And I don't need to get to that in order to start to tap into an energy of feel good, because I figured it out. I figured out that if I can tap into feel good now, when I'm not seeing, money raining from the heavens, then that feel good will propel me towards the thing that I'm actually trying to achieve. And it's the same thing with any other area of your life. It's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with your love life, right? If you are in a situation where you have something that you're going after and the destination is over there and you're like, okay, when I focus on the destination, I'm looking at my vision board and I'm saying all the affirmations. I'm gonna have to do one on why affirmations don't work, because I actually create affirmations for people, and a lot of persons, their affirmations don't work for them and they don't know why, because I send them every day, etc., whatever. So I'll do another day where I talk about that. But for today, the reason I'm saying to you guys that you have to focus on the journey and on the destination is because that feel good energy supports you on both sides of the fence. Because sometimes when you put a goal out there, you put a dream out there, You actually are in the process of planting that seed, and sometimes if you are not watering that seed with things and thoughts that are going to help to move you closer to seeing that fruit, the blossom of whatever it is that you planted, then it just take a little while longer. Some of us, we say, okay, I'm planting a seed because I'm going to get myself a house, or I'm planting a seed because I'm going to be building a business. So you get your seed, your business building seed, you have this amazing idea of what it's going to look like. You dig up your earth, you plant it, right? And you're focusing on the destination. You're focusing on the destination, but you're in the journey, and maybe you're taking classes. Maybe you're trying to learn something. Maybe you're trying to hire people. Maybe you're trying to get, whatever it is that you need to put together to get this business going. Maybe you're trying to get some funding, whatever it is. And in the middle of doing all of that, because you're not seeing what the destination is, you're trying to look at it, you're looking at, okay, this is what I'm building, but you're not seeing it come to fruition yet. You go dig up the seed. Now, if you're digging up the seed every minute, clearly, one, you don't feel any kind of goodness that whatever it is that you're doing is working. Because if you felt good about it, if you felt confident, and you didn't worry about what everybody else was doing, you wouldn't be going there trying to dig it up to see what's happening, right? And two, if you were actually focused on the feel good of the journey, like, okay, I have to go and get funding. Let me go figure out all the different ways that I can get funding. Or let me be grateful for the money that I had in the first place to get this seed going. Like, you have to kind of be doing both things. So you have to be nurturing the feeling that you have about whatever it is you're working towards. And you also have to be nurturing the journey that you're on. So it's literally like you're giving it sunshine and you're giving it rain, right? And then over time, depending on how well you're nurturing yourself while you're on the journey towards this great destination, and that's going back to the feel good, then you'll be able to see that thing blossom and come to fruition for you. Okay. And the better you get at that process, the faster your seeds blossom, the faster you attract that thing that you are trying to get to. But the more you're miserable about it, the more you keep digging up and trying to figure out, am I planting it right? Am I doing the right thing? Am I fertilizing okay? The more you doubt yourself, is the longer it will take for that thing to come to fruition. If you think about your energy as the ultimate fertilizer, right? Your energy is the ultimate fertilizer for whatever it is that you are after in your life. And you focus on what it would be like to actually achieve that thing that you are going after. You don't have to have it yet, That's the beautiful part about it. Just like when you got the initial idea and you got that swell inside of your chest and your gut start feel active and you're like, yeah, I can do this. If you can harness that energy, write it down in a journal, write down what it feels like in that moment. Because sometimes, guys, I'm being real. Sometimes it's very hard to bring back that feel good feeling, especially when it comes to situations like your financials, like your money. When your money is off, it's very difficult to have that feeling. That's why you write it down when you have it. And even if it's not the feel good about that particular thing that you're creating, maybe it's a feel good about a relationship that you're in. Maybe your love life turn up. That's actually one of the best things that you can pull on. Like if you have a great love life, that's one of the things that I highly recommend. Write down what it feels like when you're in your love zone, in your love space. Not when you're cussing and arguing. No, when you guys are getting along, right? When you guys having a good time, write that down, right? Write down what it feels like. Put that piece of paper somewhere you can always find it. Okay? And then know when you're in the trenches, when you're feeling the suffering of transformation, because trust me, any type of change in your life that is really worth it, you're going to go through the trenches, right? But when you're in the trenches, you're going to go back for that little love letter that you wrote to yourself. Okay? You're going to go back to that. You're going to pick it up and you're going to remind yourself of the energy. That's what you're doing. You're reminding yourself of that energy, that frequency that you are connecting to, that is also on the other side of having achieved that amazing dream or that amazing outcome. Okay? So, guys, it's that mid year reset. And I'm telling you, if you just put some of these principles that I'm sharing, and I'll be quite honest, like I use all my platforms. Like whenever I jump on and I'm talking and stuff, I'm really doing a whole lot of self-therapy because I need it. I'm in my mid-year reset too. I'm halfway through the year. I'm first half year of doing business full time. And I'm telling you that it's simple, and at the same time, it's not necessarily the easiest thing. And so I have to remind myself of all the different tools and things that are available to me, which is the same tools that I'm sharing with you. And this one came to me fully because this morning I was on LinkedIn and I saw this girl put up a post talking about, you know, don't worry about the destination, it's the journey and get the juice out of the journey. When I'm like, no, no, honey, may have to focus on the destination because if I'm not excited by where I'm going, then I'm going to be giving two different directions to whoever is taking me there or whoever is supporting me in getting there. Maybe that's tomorrow's conversation, right? So you have to focus on not just the journey, but focus on the destination. And the one thing I'm asking you to do, I'm not saying to come up with all these amazing strategic plans. I'm not saying to write down every single thing you do every day of the journey. No, one thing you have to do, you have to find your feel good. Find that feel good energy. Write it down somewhere. If it don't come from what you're going after, then don't try to force it. Don't try to make yourself feel good about being wealthy if right now you're suffering from poverty consciousness. It's just not going to work. Write down feel good about something that you actually, it could be as simple as your grandmother. I use my grandmother is 88 years old and she just gives me a whole lot of feel good right now. So anytime I'm in the trenches, I just think about something grandma said that made me smile and it just immediately lifts my spirits, right? So think about something, have it ready. Think about something that makes you feel good. Think about something that will allow you to access that energy. And when you think about your destination, think about that energy. When you're in the journey, in the trenches, think about that energy. Remind yourself of what that feels like. And trust me, you'll be heading to that destination a lot faster and with a lot less stress than if you were worried about how you're going to get there and if you were worried about not getting there at all. Okay. All right. So that's it for tonight on our mid-year reset. I really hope that this was very helpful for you guys. I know I felt like I was talking to myself a little bit, right? That's really ministering to myself. So thank you guys for joining at this late hour. And if you didn't catch all of the live, please go back and watch it. And hopefully it will bless your evening. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon again.